Another reason why I don't date outside my race is because even though both my parents are black, my genetics are a little bit shaky. I cannot guarantee that if I had a child with a non-black man, that child would also look black. It would probably come out racially ambiguous. Like, I would say 65% chance. I don't want to have to go through that whole conversation of having to explain to you why I can call you nigga, but you can't call me nigga. I don't want to have to go through a conversation of why you shouldn't be showing me to your friends, explaining that you're black. On top of the fact that if my child chooses to have kids with a non-black person, there goes our lineage. We look like Diana Ross's family.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen. So guys, you remember when we did an episode where a bunch of palm-colored people have already created a group and they've also done mass production of the special souls and brought them into African clinics with the aim of whiteifying Africa and completely wiping out the blackness in Africa.
That's their dream, right?
Right. So in today's episode, we've also found another very interesting episode, and this was a discussion between Black Americans, and they were just discussing how at some point we'll all be mixed.
At some point America will be mixed in a great number than what it is right now. And the case in study today, as it will be, is
Diana Ross's situation, her family.
It only took 2 generations for them to be palm-colored, right? So if you look at Diana Ross's family, those ones who don't know her, just stick around because there'll be images and representations of pictures to show what they look like right now.
Right, and you know, also in the Bible it states that races should not intermarry, and right now that others are all but willing to intermarry and others are more cautious of intermarrying, there are other biracials who will be speaking in these videos, and they're just talking of how they don't want the black gene to be completely wiped out of their family tree, and this is why they're sorting black men so that they can return back the black gene that their forefathers have wiped out of their, and mothers have wiped out of their system. And we thought this was a very interesting topic to bring here. So let's just watch this episode and then you come back and talk about it. But you can also leave us a comment on what you think about this topic, and also consider subscribing if you've not. Let's watch.
So I'm writing a final paper on the Diana Rossification of the Black family, right? Through the lens of Taye Selassie's ideas on Afropolitanism and how this could be a side effect of that. And Afropolitanism basically states like Africans or those of African descent are becoming more worldly and cosmopolitan, and we don't have to adhere to like the traditional ideas of what an African is, right? A side effect of that, though, is as people become more worldly and start dating like interracially, that leads to the eventual erasure of the black features or the black identity of that initial person, right? Therefore, the Diana Rossification of the Black family. If you look at Diana Ross's family, she is within 2 generations, they are now white. Like her living descendants, her grandchildren are white, right? Now, I am not anti-interracial dating, interracial relationship, interracial marriage. As a matter of fact, especially when it comes to black women, go where you are loved. Because that holding on to like, I need black love, sometimes leads to a desperation that has us like accepting things that we shouldn't, right? So go where you are loved. However, that is a side effect, right? That could then erase your identity as a person. I was looking at another like historical figure, Francis Barber, who was a Jamaican freed slave who inherited like his slave master's wealth, right? Which led to him becoming what would be now thought of like an Afropolitan, like he became more worldly, ended up marrying a white woman. All of Francis Barber's living descendants in England right now are white. Cedric Barber has identified himself. He's a white man. I'll put a picture of him up if I can. That is just so interesting. Diana Ross's only fully black grandchild is from her only fully black child. The rest of her grandchildren, who are essentially phenotypically white, come from her mixed race children, who then continue to marry white. So that's interesting as well, right? And the idea of Afropolitanism still works in Diana Ross's case because, again, her only fully black child is her first one. As she grows more famous, she then goes ahead and has mixed race children. Again, no shade. I love Diana Ross. Please, no shade. These are just things that have to be spoken about and thought of.
What is the Diana Ross effect? The Diana Ross effect refers to when the grandchildren bear almost no resemblance at all to the grandmother or the grandfather because of intermarrying, and eventually their offspring, they look nothing like the original grandparents. Now, this has become very relevant because there's been a recent wedding where another celebrity, we see this effect. You know who I'm talking about. So what are your thoughts on this? Is it absolutely crazy racist? Or is it actually an interesting observation that people should consider? I'm genuinely interested, yeah? So leave out all of the violence and aggression. Just tell me, is it beautiful? Or is it something that people should actually genuinely care about? Let me know. I've got another video for you showing the wedding of that said celebrity and the expected kind of outcomes, what their children will look like. So check that out, yeah?
Please don't get upset with me, but how would you feel if you and your spouse are African American and over time your generations get full-blown Caucasian? Like, I seen this video on TikTok and this girl said she said when she she basically woke up from a nightmare saying, like, when she finally gave the YT man a chance and, you know, her lineage starts to have kids with other YT people, and then basically she becomes a Diana Ross effect. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my God, no. Because, you know, I always think about this because me and my man, we are black, okay? But we're living in an environment that is predominantly YT. So it's like when we have kids in the same city that we start our life in, the chances of our kids, unless they travel, you know, having kids with somebody who is like them is very slim, okay? And I always think about this because, like, I want our blackness to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want it to keep going strong. I don't want it to be watered down. Like, I don't want it to be watered down. I'm already watered down. My man is not watered down, but I don't want it any more watered down. I just want it to stop with the watering from me and then just keep getting richer and darker and beautifuler. You know what I mean? Like, I always think about this, and I want my kids to love who they love, because I had a phase where I was, you know, I was dating before my man, before I was saved. I was dating all types of ethnicities and races, okay? So maybe one of my children will probably have that phase. You know what I mean? But date whoever they want to love, you know? But I do think about that sometimes. No shade to any race, anything. Like I said, I've dated multiple cultures and ethnicities, okay? But I always think about that.
Listen, at some point, we're all going to be mixed, okay? Diana Rossification of the family is going to happen. It probably already happened in your family anyway. At some point during your family tree, someone mixed with someone that wasn't black and y'all came out with a lighter skin color. It may not have been this light, but brown skin, tan skin, something. Based on the population of the world, we're all going to be mixed with either, at some point, South Asians or Asian people. In America, it's been said that by 2050, most of the families in America are going to be multicultural. They're going to be mixed with something. Also, it's been said that in America, the Hispanic population will rise by 6%, and then the white population will decrease by 11%. So at some point, white people in America are going to be the minority. I'm not mad at this. More and more people are stepping into interracial relationships, and I love it. I'm here for it. The minute y'all find out somebody in your family is black, y'all gonna consider these people black to begin with. So does this really matter?
So guys, welcome back. You've seen what the compilation we had to put together for you, right? And guys, okay, I'm feeling like in America there used to be a time where if you find a black person, you find a black person. If you find a palm-colored person, you find a palm-colored person, yeah?
And then an era came where you couldn't find just black people alone. There started coming about mixed race people,
a mixture of palm-colored and black people. And right now in the society, you find that you can't even tell this mixed child, what is she a mixture of? Because you can't tell if it's Latina.
You can't tell if it's Chinese. You can't tell if it's America, because it is mixed with
a lot of mixtures in there in generations to, before you that you become racially ambiguous. So you find yourself in a society where such new terms are coming up. Such things as racially ambiguous, and you're like, why is it that someone can't just sit down and say I'm this or that, because so much mingling and mixing happened. And this girl, what she was saying was,
especially the Latin community will be mixed with everything. It will be mixed, and it will be the biggest demographic, because the white population is slowly decreasing or becoming extinct. And
so personally, I'm saying that time I feel like we're already in that time where a lot of mixing is going on, and in America especially, there's that explosive percentage of it, and then it's trickling down to these other places. And what this lady was saying is, if we are not careful, it only takes, like in the Narose's family, it was 2 generations. You marry, get a mixed child,
and that mixed child goes to sort a white person.
And don't you find it interesting that out of all her children, it was only the
perfectly black child that went on to sort
to preserve
the black line. And when the Bible says that races shouldn't mix, there is a point in the Bible where they say that races shouldn't mix. I feel like one race is trying to wipe out the other race, right? And this race, it said that our race has a dominant gene, meaning it can't be wiped out. And right now, it's speculated that the palm-colored people are starting to become extinct. So I feel like even the point of the Bible saying the races shouldn't be mixed, it was deliberate so that one race could completely just be wiped out, because they don't die off naturally because they don't possess that dominant gene, and the other one was meant to live a longer time.
And also, I feel like this is happening right now in a fashionable way, because there are people who truly do not know. There are things that people should be knowing that they don't know. So I feel like that is what is opening the gates to such kind of things, because I'm just going to be honest. You'll find that in an African society, any Africans who marries outside his race or her race, it's because they're deliberately trying to, they've not been talked into it. They're trying to wipe that blackness out of their family, their
generations to come, because Africans, a lot of them believe that by wiping out the melanin in their bodies, they're giving their offsprings a better future, better opportunities.
And the beauty standards that Africans normally see on TV is the Eurocentric. Exactly. So that is what they want to give their children. And I'll give an example of let me just mention them, because anyway they have a public life on YouTube, right? There's a Kenyan family on YouTube called Mackenzie Limiri. Limiri is the husband who is Kenyan, and I don't mean to put them on spot, but you guys, you can just go check out their YouTube channel. So you find that when they go into public spaces here in Kenya, even in areas where they're being served by normal melanated Kenyans, right, you find that a lot of Kenyans, melanated Kenyans, want to interact with them because of the white Muzungu wife, the
biracial kids.
And the biracial kids, because that is what to them is considered beautiful. So that white worshipping of the white skin, it just naturally comes to them, So it's why I'm saying, for people who are not woke and don't know what they should be knowing right now, they're making it very easy,
very easy for all of us to be mixed in one point, and they're also making it easy for those special groups of people who are bringing their special sauce to whiten the black gene.
But anyways, I don't see it ever happening, because much as a big population is out there who don't know these things, there's those of us who know and try to spread this information out there,
And also, on a lighter note, guys, I usually feel like Much as the palm-colored people are trying to spread their genes here in Africa, Nigerians are representing us well in the world map in trying to spread the blackness out there.
Right? You can look at things two ways here, and we choose to look at this the positive way.
Nigerians are overworking for us, the black nation.
Right, and spreading their genes everywhere. You know,
if you go to India, you get
exactly a Nigerian.
Mm-hmm. If you go to India, you get a half Nigerian kid there. Mm-hmm. If you go to Japan, you get a half Nigerian kid there. So
yeah, they could be reversing
the balance that we need.
If I don't know how right that sounds, but guys, we choose to look at it that way, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section,
and we'll see you on our next episode. But please, before you leave, consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.